And it's good to be back after a bye week as the Colorado Buffaloes sit at 6-2 now. Get ready to take a trip down to Lubbock, Texas on Saturday afternoon. That's a 2 o'clock ball game. Welcome into Buffs Primetime, presented by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Visit Aflac.com to learn more. Buffs coming off the 34-23 victory over Cincinnati. Got to remind you, 2 weeks ago. Head coach, Deion Coach Prime Sanders is here. We've got this guy, Mates, coming in today. Mark Vass is coming in.
Mate coming?
That's right.
That'd be interesting.
And Tommy Robinson's coming in as well.
Tommy's good.
You're a quality control coach.
Yeah.
And how was the bye week for you?
Bye week was good. It was fun. Got an opportunity to, first of all, we worked our butts off before we left. We didn't allow the kids to go home until Friday.
Yeah.
Because the second bye week, we were like, you already had a bye week. Let's get that straight. You don't need 2 bye weeks. I don't know who give people 2 bye weeks, but this conference does. So I went on to Texas and had a good time, done some fishing and relaxing and all that.
Oh, we saw some videos. You were having a real good time at one point.
Yeah, a good time.
You like
that? Right, I like the side by side.
I was going to say, man, that four-wheel, that side by side, you got some use out of that.
I love it. The 4-wheelers, all that. I love all of it.
You know, you talk about not taking a lot of time off. I did Buff Bells yesterday with Pat Shermer. He was the football guy yesterday. Did a great job, and Pat was saying, I mean, you guys had your nose to the grindstone this bye week, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah,
we did. We know where we are. We know what's at stake. We know what's in front of us, and there's a serious nature, but also you got to have fun in your seriousness. It's got to be fun for the young men, and they're going to adapt to it, and they're going to embrace it even more when it's a little fun for them.
Yeah, you know, at this point in the season, you make an interesting point. Early in the season, right, you're still learning your squad and how they're developing. At this point, it's all about, fine-tuning, I guess, probably?
Well, at this point, if you don't know them by now, something's wrong.
right.
There's no chancing and, try this guy. No. If you don't know them, there's a problem. So we know what we have. We got to still develop some young men as well as put certain guys in situations to be successful that has shown us that they're capable.
As this team has continued to grow, and again, here you sit at 6-2, and last week the bye week was good to the Buffs because of all that happened elsewhere. As we were watching some of those games out there, do you see this team, Prime? What am I looking to say? Accepting or understanding how things are growing as time goes on?
Yeah. They're accepting reality, and they're accepting what's in front of them.
Yeah.
They really are. They're embracing it. They understand the challenge of it. They understand the focus required to maintain it. They understand what it takes to study and preparation to go get it. I mean, all week it has been great practices. I'm serious. These guys they've been physical. They're getting to the ball. They're aggressive. But the film study and the times are substantial. I mean, substantially. It seems like they just go to another level every week in their preparation, in their film study.
So on a bye week, when you only give them the 1 day off, really, these guys weren't barking about that. They were hey, man.
They weren't whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not whatsoever. They just wanted to win, so they could make proper plans. And I understand that. Some of them want to catch a flight, get out of there. Everybody got darn collective money. So they want to go somewhere and get back on time because they know the repercussions if you don't get back on time.
Yeah.
But they're adamant, man. They understand what transpired in the bye week. Now what the risk that we have, what's ahead of us, and it's in our hands. We just got to go get it.
You as a coach and a staff, you guys set the culture. You set the message all the time. But are the best teams, though, player-led? And I mean by that, they take ownership?
When people say player-led, what does that mean?
I think what they're saying is they take ownership of it, that you don't have to sheriff them all the time because guys like, I would suppose, Shador and Travis.
You don't have to, but you got to give them the directions.
Sure.
You got to be in the navigational system. They could drive it there, but you still have to navigate. Like when people say that, I'm like, hey, you still got to navigate.
Yeah.
Where these young men go and what they need to do. And you got to set the example and set the tone in the morning meeting of this is what we expect.
So I would think, like, back when you played for the Cowboys, I would think with the veterans on that team.
Well, it's grown man. It's grown man and kids. That's two different
Sure,
games.
I understand.
That's grown men, grown men and kids. Grown men that has been in the league for quite some time, and they get it, and they understand, like, hey, man, you only get one shot maybe at the Super Bowl thing, at being world champions. College is a little different. These are kids that some of them are young, but they could ball out.
Sure.
But they still need leadership.
I guess what got me thinking about it yesterday, I mentioned Bells. Ryan Staub was there, so he came out and talked. And when we had him on stage, I asked him about playing on a team and being in the same room with Shador. And he
Right.
talked about Shador setting a tone.
Yeah,
He said
yeah.
his message sounds just like your message does. And so
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was getting at. Those guys
That's
relate.
true. That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, some of those guys, they have that leadership ability and quality in them that, yeah, even if they don't say nothing, the way they go about their practice, the way they go about their preparation and performance, you understand who they are and what they expect from you, and they're not going to settle for anything less. I mean, the way Cam is with the defense,
Right.
he's not settling for anything less. That's just who he is.
Do you have to be a great player to be a leader?
No, but you got to be able to play ball.
Okay.
You don't have to be great, but you darn sure got to be good.
Yeah.
Nobody ain't following nobody if you're not good.
Right.
Everybody following that. Following that where? To the cafeteria? To eat in there with chef? Yeah,
Right.
but not on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was the best leader you played with during your career?
You got a mirror?
Okay, let me rephrase that. Who is the best player besides yourself that you played with?
Well, I played with a lot of great players.
Yeah.
It depends on the position. Let's start out early,
Yeah.
okay? Bobby Butler,
Okay.
who was a cornerback, played Florida State way back when. He was a tremendous leader on that team, along with Scott Case, some others on that Falcon team. Andre Rison in his own way,
Sure.
as well. Now, when you go to San Francisco, during that whole team.
Is that right?
Yeah. Steve was Steve as well. Jerry, of course, the way he played, but it was just the way these guys played in practice.
Okay.
As well. Washington, we got our butts kicked. There wasn't a lot of leadership there. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, so forth.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. But it's the way you practice, the way you prepare, the way you live your life, because you could be a leader on the field and practice good, then you leading somebody straight to hell off the field.
Right, yes.
Ain't nobody following that. Like, you don't want that, because that distorts the message.
Right.
Like, you do this, but then you're doing, no, ain't nobody following that.
So the inconsistency just destroys the leadership.
Inconsistency,
Yeah.
right. Mike Irvin, was a great leader as well. I mean, the way he practiced, the way he performed, the way he studied, prepared, and you knew game time, it was that. Mike had a wonderful lifestyle off the field, but it wasn't detrimental to what he was going to do on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
But you think of those down, I'm thinking of like, Troy and Emmett and
Yes.
all the way down the
Yes.
line, those guys.
Yeah. Nate Newton, the whole darn line.
Yeah.
You had a team of winners. You had a team of guys, but the coaches set that template and they set that tone. And with the old men, we just enacted what they had already established.
So with all that you saw and learned and experienced throughout that career to see great leadership, including yourself then, how do you impart that to the guys
you
that sit in
take
these
bits
chairs?
and pieces and incorporate them, but everybody's not built the same, so you can't place this and that guy. You may say, you know what, that guy's a lot like Terry Pendleton for the Braves. Let me tell him a little story about TP. Oh, that guy's like Tom Glavine and John Smoltz. Let me tell them a little bit about that. That guy's like Greg Maddux.
Sure.
That guy's Barry Larkin. That guy's Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
You just get out the way.
Right.
Just let him do his thing. So it's so many men I played for. Not only that, coaches. Like this morning, I had a down there hour conversation with Mickey Andrews, who to me was the greatest coach I ever played for. And
You're DC at Florida State.
oh my God! Yeah. And I mean, I love him to this day. And we have these real intimate talks about football and coaching and leadership and young men. And it was all of that this morning. I'm just sitting on there gleaning, and I'm telling them about our team, and he's shooting back at me and telling me what we need to do and how it was then, and it is wonderful. So I have all these men that I could glean from to consistently lead our team.
When you've got a guy like that, like Mickey Andrews in your life, who's been a great influence, a great mentor, I would have to think at different times, are those guys able to challenge you? Do they go, hey, Prime,
they're able to check me in where we are,
right,
and make sure we stay on that plane.
Okay.
Yeah, Coach, keep the standard. Do not fluctuate from the standard. Just that alone, right there, it just recalibrates me. when you're watching your defense coach, are they whizzing? Are they thudding? What that means is when you whiz, you flying by the ball full speed. When you
Okay.
thudding, you get there and you butt them up. You can't use your arms, you can't
Right.
use your hands, but you butt them up.
Okay.
Those little things. I'm like, Coach, you right on. I say, man, if you only understood how much I sound like you when I'm coaching, it's unbelievable. So that's a compliment because you don't think you're emulating or imitating the coaches you played for, but you truly are in some aspects.
You know, I was just thinking as you're talking, we're living at a time, Prime, where a lot of people want to be influential, but they
Right.
haven't earned the right to be influential,
That's
right?
true. Well, we're living in a time where there's a bunch of followers.
Yes.
Isn't that
Yeah.
what everybody wants on
Yeah.
social media?
Exactly right.
Followers.
Yeah.
That's what the majority of us are.
Yeah.
Truly. I mean, followers. There's only a few bona fide leaders out there in our country that we can say is truly leaders. We just had during election,
Mhm.
and the big thing that everybody was talking about, that who's really the leader?
Right.
You know, out of these candidates, are they really leaders that we can truly follow?
Sure. Yeah.
That was the big question mark.
You know, there's a great quote, and Reed's telling me we got to get to a break. There's a great quote I once heard about. It says something along the line of the sun is setting on a culture when small men cast long shadows.
Hmm.
And we've kind of created that, haven't we, in terms of which is, and I bring that up because you're trying to teach the guys that sit in these chairs here about being quality men, quality leaders,
True.
quality influencers within a
Right.
community.
Which
yeah.
is way larger than football.
Yes,
Let's get that straight.
yeah, without question.
Which is way larger than football.
Right.
They're going to be men in communities and businesses and in their personal lives much longer than they are football players.
Yeah.
That football episode for a multitude of them is almost over.
Yeah.
But you got to teach them how to be men and men that are consistent.
And when you teach them to do that, I would think they become good teammates and football
Yes.
players, right?
Yes, they do. It's unbelievable. But when you teach life lessons, you're also teaching lessons that they can learn for life playing football.
And it turns back and it makes your
Yes.
team better on top of it.
Yes, it does.
We got a little deeper than I expected us to.
There
right
ain't
off
no
the
wrong
top
with
there.
that. We got shovels.
The Buffs are on the road against Texas Tech on Saturday. It's going to take another timeout. We'll come back more with Coach Prime after this. It's Buffs Prime time. Yeah, this is Colorado football from their field.
little coaching things that we think about.
University of Colorado football is brought to us by the Hiltons on Canyon. Coming to Boulder for game day. Stay at the Hiltons on Canyon, a proud hotel partner of the Buffaloes. Maybe it's a good thing we're not playing at home this weekend with all the snow that's been falling here.
Yeah. But it's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous,
Oh,
isn't it?
It is really not cold out.
No, not bad.
You know, when I show people all the snow, like, oh my God, it's got to be freezing. I'm like, no, it really ain't like that. It's not like that.
Is that the biggest misconception maybe you had coming to Boulder about winter, what it was like?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm from the South, man.
Right. You didn't know, right?
You know, 30 degrees in Texas or Florida, Mississippi, it's over.
Freezing.
It's a wrap.
Yes.
You're not going outside. 30 degrees here, I tell everybody it's hoodie weather. I'm in a hoodie. So it's just a difference. So I'm happy. I can't wait to dominate, and we went out, so I could get the veil,
Yep.
and go snowmobiling and walk around the wonderful city that they have there.
How did you get into the snowmobiling thing? How did that happen?
I love the four-wheel, first of all,
Right.
and I'm not skiing.
Yeah.
I only have 8 soldiers. Let's get that straight. So I'm not doing that. The balance is affected.
I understand.
The balance is affected
I
right
understand.
now, and I'm kind of afraid of that. So snowmobiling, I got control.
Yeah.
I got control, and I'm close to the ground. I like that.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
I love it. I just want to have a place where I'm not on a guided tour.
Right.
That I'm not. You don't have to follow.
Yeah.
Like you're in a darn choo-choo train. Like I'm too old. I'm in my darn 50s, and I got to follow a guy in front of me. I know. I want to pass you.
Yeah.
But I can't, because if I do, I'm going to fall off the trail.
Right.
I want, freedom. I want freedom.
To go where he
want
wants to
freedom.
go.
I want a freedom trail. And I want my own four-wheelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the Primobile.
Have you gone, real high elevation?
The highest you could think.
Have you really?
In Breckenridge as well as Vail.
Yeah.
The highest you could think. Yeah.
That gets a little
I have
dicey at
traveled
times.
where no black man has gone before. Let's just get that straight. Let's get that straight. I put my flag down there, black
I
flag.
was going to say, man,
A black flag.
We got to put like a,
That's
I
me.
don't know,
Just to put a black flag with me on there. No black man has come this far before. I know it ain't.
Look at the ideas we've come up on this show.
Yeah.
That one, right, putting a plaque up for you up on the mountaintop.
Yep.
You having your voice on the GPS.
And a black flag.
And a black flag. There you
Yeah.
go. Been some good
In
business
Vail
ideas.
or Breckenridge. I haven't been to Aspen yet, but I do plan on going.
All right. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, you know what? As well as we're playing right now, and we plan on continuing to do this and run
Yes,
the
we
table,
do.
that's going to cut into your snowmobile time now in December,
Yeah, but I'm good with that.
which is a good thing.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I am really good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, we got Mark Vass is coming up here.
Mate?
Yeah, mate. He just walked in over there.
Mate
so,
is here?
Yeah.
Mate! Hey, when he hears that, he smiles every time. When he
Yeah.
hears that. I'm sad because every time I look at him, I appreciate him so much because he's so good
Yes.
of a person, not only a punter, but how can we think about replacing Mate? Like, it's nobody who can do that.
No,
He's one of the
exactly.
hardest workers. Is consistent, kicks his butt off, and he's a bona fide leader.
Coach Barnett has said to me many times when he had great punters and great kickers, he said that always gave me 15 more minutes of sleep every night because I didn't worry about special
I
teams.
don't worry about Mate.
Same
I
deal?
never worry about
Yeah.
Mate. Yeah. I just don't want him to get a lot of opportunities in the game.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Never a good thing when your punter's
Yeah.
out there a lot.
I don't want him to have to ice his leg like he did last year. He
Isn't
had to ice his legs after the game.
Isn't it amazing how Australia has become
It's Mate heaven.
it's unbelievable how many guys
these
are coming out of
seats
country.
right here is probably where me and Mate sit beside each other in our morning meetings.
Is that right?
And when we do the sky reports of the opposing teams,
Right.
he always say,
Australian.
"That's a mate."
There we go.
No,
He's an
he'll say-
Aussie.
He'll say, "That's a mate." I say, but we got the best mate.
There's no doubt
Don't you
about
let their mate beat our mate.
it. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing how Australia's become a pipeline for kickers and punters.
He got to find us another mate.
Yeah, they got to
I'm just not accepting a normal man.
no, he's got to be like him. Hey, we got Tommy Robinson coming up here. Quality control coach. Tell me what he does in your staff.
Tommy does a lot, man. Tommy does a lot with special teams as well. But Tommy coached me when I played for the Cowboys.
Is that right?
Tommy was the receiver coach, and I played both ways.
Yeah.
So Tommy has seen all this stuff that we're doing with Travis. He's seen it before, with me.
Yeah.
But Tommy is a consistent young man. He came through us after he was let go by LSU, and he's like, Coach Prime, I want to come
Awesome.
and work with you. And let's go. We good because I know him. I know his character. He's been to a multitude of schools, but he's always been consistent of who he is.
You mentioned Travis a moment ago. Last weekend, he went out and was at the.
Yeah, he was at the crib.
He was at the crib,
Yeah.
and then he went out to the Fox Noon pregame show. He's
Yeah.
out there, kind of making his plug, if you will.
He did
for
a great job.
Did he really? Yeah.
Not only, first of all, I saw him the night before. It had to be midnight, 1 in the morning, whatever. We had finished playing Taboo with different couples and families,
Sure, yeah.
right? And then I hear him on the four-wheeler, and I'm thinking, God, please don't fall off this four-wheeler.
Can you imagine the heat you take if you fell off the four-wheeler?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, when he was hitting it, it sounded a lot louder than how he was going fast. Then I see him chasing a deer. I saw that as well. I mean, I'm talking about this is at least midnight or 1 in the morning.
Right.
Then I hear gunshots going off, and he's shooting targets, practice. We got
you guys
all
got
that.
the range out there.
We got everything at the house.
Yep.
And then I go to bed, and I wake up and saw him on television. I was like, you got to be kidding. I'm saying, because I didn't know what time he left. I didn't know, we have a private airport like 15 minutes from the crib.
Yeah.
But it's funny to just see him. Then I saw him on television smiling like he had to sleep on the plane. Oh, God, he had to only sleep on the plane.
I'm convinced he's not human, by the way. I'm convinced of it.
He's not, but he did a great job of representing himself as well as the university team. He did a great job.
What he has done in college football, and I do interviews around the country and say the same thing, I've never seen anything like it. So as you're sitting here as his head coach, make the argument why he is the best player in college football.
Well, nobody has ever done what he's done.
Yeah.
Let's just get that straight. And if the award is for the best player, I think that is him. Now, this other kid is phenomenal. He's the best running back.
Yep. LaJohntay.
Yeah, he is. It's a couple guys that putting up those type of numbers, though. They're just not giving the other guy any love.
Right.
But he's definitely one of the best, if not the best running back. But what Travis is doing hadn't been done. It really hasn't. And I'm thankful that I'm his coach because if I was selfish and say, you're just going to do what everybody else has done, we wouldn't get to see the best of Travis Hunter.
Exactly.
Think about that. If he goes anywhere, nobody never allowed. The only reason I allow something like that because I could fathom it.
Because you've given him the opportunity. When you get questioned about this, you're giving him the opportunity to blossom.
I did it at the pro level.
Right.
So I know, don't tell me what can't be done. I did it at the pro level. I was playing 100-some snaps a game at the pro level. So why can't he? Why can't he?
It's already been done.
It's already been done.
Yeah.
Right. Not like that.
Right.
Shoot. He's doing it. I was good, but he's great.
So I know he wants to play every snap on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
How much is he bounding about playing on special teams as well? On a
He
regular basis?
don't even try that.
Is that right?
He no.
Yeah.
That's the bathroom break.
Yeah.
That's the bathroom break. Everybody got to go to the bathroom every now and then. That's the bathroom break.
Speaking of guys being out there a lot, coming out of the bye week, we all pretty healthy. We feel good about everything.
We feel really good about everything. Tyler Brown may play both ways as well.
He's kind of a much larger Travis Hunter all of a sudden.
We have
tell us about that a little bit.
We because we're down a guy with Shane Coke's been out.
Yeah.
We gotta have another body. Who else? We got three. Three. I'm forgetting.
All right.
My receiver. Harge.
Oh yeah.
Isaiah Harge.
Yeah. Yep.
So we got three guys that play both ways.
All right.
So hopefully Isaiah gets some reps as well.
How tough is that for Tyler to make that switch over the defensive side?
Well, we've been giving him the opportunity in practice to play both, which I love because now he's more focused, he's more concentrated, and he's conditioned more, so he's able to do that. We just need him to get in there and hold a point.
Yeah.
Just hold a point.
All right. Texas Tech, pretty good football
Pretty
team.
good, darn good team.
Yeah.
My dear friend Joey.
Yeah.
Joey's awesome. He's a great head coach. He's won in the inner city and in Cedar Hill in Texas, state championships. Got the opportunity to go to Baylor, coach several years. Then he moved on to be the head coach there, and he's done a phenomenal job. I love him. I appreciate him. His team is going to be physical. Mm-hmm. They're not going to give up, and they're going to be fundamentally sound. He's going to run the football really well. They got a young quarterback who's doing a pretty good job of distributing the ball, running the RPOs, and getting the ball where it needs to go. They got a tailback who's unbelievable.
Taj Brooks.
Very patient young man that's very patient. Defense is good. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say they're great because I would be lying, but they're good. And they're opportunistic. They take the ball away.
Yes.
They take the
11
ball
interceptions.
away. They take the ball away, and that's to be applauded.
Yeah. They got a receiver by the name of Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
He watched him. He's put up, in Travis's neighborhood of yards and catches.
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
good.
Yeah.
We got a Travis that probably is going to be on him.
Okay. Safe
right.
bet.
So he's going to be in that neighborhood. We're going to make sure he's in that neighborhood.
We've really got a chance to do something special this season.
Yes. And we love the opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't like the word chance. We have an opportunity.
Okay.
Opportunity means it's deserved. A chance means we really ain't prepared, but we hope we do well. That's what I think a chance means. But opportunity is something totally different. And these guys understand the task at hand, and they're taking it head on, man.
Does a team, as kind of the stakes rise as the season goes on, do you see them becoming more focused?
Yeah, they've been like that for the last several weeks.
Have
they really have. They've been focused. They've been together. They've been united. They've been more physical. The practices have been phenomenal, and I love it. I really love what I'm seeing. And every week we're getting better.
Right.
It's not like we're declining as a team. Every week we're getting better and better and better, and I like that.
I asked you about the health situation there. Shador feeling healthy?
Shador's good.
Yeah,
he's good. He's really good. I think he had a groin or something last week that he's good. I ain't worried about him.
Yeah.
On Saturday,
no,
I ain't worried about him.
I get that.
Yeah, I'm good. He's good. What I always say every week: if we don't do but two things, let's stop the run, and let's protect that quarterback.
There you go.
If we don't do nothing, we do those two, we're good.
Well, when he gets, does he talk to you about a lot of stuff in terms of
everything?
I understand, being dad, but if you got a bad groin, does he come and say, "Dad, well, my groin's not"?
No, he'll say,
"Kind of keep that to himself."
No, because he's tough.
He's going through treatment.
He don't complain about injuries. He's like, I'll be okay. Yeah. And Pat is more concerned than anything. like Pat, he grew up in my home. I got it. He's straight.
It can be fun.
I know when he's hurt. He's good.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got everything settled today. We're going to put a plaque up and a black flag up there on the top of one of the mountains. Yeah, so that Prime can be notified that.
I was here.
Yeah, first what'd you say? First black man that's ever been
First
there.
black man that's ever been there.
Hey, Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thank you, mate.
There you go. We got mates coming up next. Mark Vass during our players segment. That's the coach, the young Coach Prime Sanders. It's the Buffs and Red Raiders down in Lubbock on Saturday afternoon. We'll take a time out. Back in a moment. This is Colorado Football from Learfield. By Eco Products. Every stadium generates some food waste on game days, but thanks in part to certified compostable packaging from Boulder-based Eco Products, the dedicated team at Folsom Field is able to turn a lot of that food and the packaging it comes in into compost instead. Eco Products proud once again to be the official zero-waste partner of the Buffaloes. Back on Buffs Prime Time, presented by Aflac. We've got our assistant coach segment coming up. Tommy Robbins is going to join us, quality control coach for the Buffaloes, and right now it's our players segment. Prime refers to you simply mate. It's Mark Vass, our punter for the Buffaloes. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Mate. He doesn't even use your name anymore. It's just mate.
I've heard him actually say my name very few times, but that's fine. Yeah, every time he sees me around the building or in the morning, it's just mate.
Yeah, you seem to have a good relationship, a good back and forth with Coach.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun just having that back and forth every day. Yeah.
What's it like? I was talking with Ryan Staub, as I mentioned earlier yesterday at Buff Bills, and I said, you come into this program. College football in and of itself is a unique world to begin with, but you get here and you've got Coach Prime, and he's an icon and a marketing guy and a brand and all that kind of stuff, and it's just the attention is off the charts. What's it like being on the inside of this thing and kind of dealing with that bright light all the time?
Yeah, well, for me it was kind of a bit of a surprise. Like not growing up around football, I didn't really know who Coach Prime really even was a year ago.
Okay,
not a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and yeah, just how big he was and how much of a legend he was. So when I got here and the spotlight was on us, it was kind of surreal, and I quickly learned.
You might be. I was going to say that I hadn't thought about it that way. You grew up in Australia, right? So you're not really paying attention to American football.
No, not at all.
And so that you didn't have the concept of who Deion Sanders is and what that meant here in the United States.
I think the first time I ever really heard of Coach Prime was the 2022 season, where I saw like some Jackson State videos on Instagram or something, where he was telling guys to get off their phone at halftime. I think that was like the first time I ever really saw anything about him. But yeah, it's so much fun playing for him.
What's going on in? I've made so many comments about this. What's going on in Australia with this pipeline of guys like you? I mean, I think Tech's got an Aussie that we're going to see this weekend. It seems like every single program we see has got either an Australian punter or kicker. What's going on down there?
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Something in the water, or what's the deal?
So Australian football, that's the main reason. But Nathan Chapman is the creator of Pro Kick Australia.
Okay.
He's really started this whole thing, and it's been going for probably around 20 years, but it's really just blown up in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's like every other week I'm playing against another guy from Australia, so it's really cool.
So how is he – you say his name again, Chapman, you said?
Nathan Chapman.
Nathan Chapman. How is he attracting all of you? So I'm guessing all of you guys were Australian rules football guys, right?
Yes, most. 99%.
Okay.
A few rugby guys.
And so he's got this program he's set up. How's he attracting all you guys and kind of get in touch with you? And how does that whole process work?
So when he first started, it was really small, only a few guys, and then it just kept growing and growing, and more people started hearing about it. And I found out about them just online. I just saw it and went on their website and applied, and I got invited down to a tryout like the next day.
Okay.
And went there and performed pretty well, and they just said, you got to do this. You're like the perfect size, a good age for it, and that's pretty much how it works.
So when you say Australian rules football, if some of the viewers and the listeners we have right now that don't know, it very similar to rugby, correct or not?
No, it's completely different. But
Totally
the way we pass the ball is we punt it to each other.
Okay.
So that's where that skill set comes from.
So everyone's kicking all the time.
Yeah, from as soon as I could walk, I was playing Australian football, and that's I was kicking a ball. Like I wasn't throwing like a lot of Americans do. I was kicking.
Is it a very physical football game like rugby?
Yeah, it's very physical. Okay. Yeah, full tackling, and we don't wear any pads.
And you're not wearing any pads or anything like that. Yeah. So it is a very physical football game.
Very.
How did they determine whether you're going to become a place kicker or a punter?
Well, 95% of the guys at Pro Kick are punters.
Okay.
Because I feel like kickers more come from a soccer background. Just the way you kick a ball is it relates to kicking more, like soccer and kicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, Australian football, it breeds punters.
What's the key to punting the ball well?
Oh, where do I start? There's a lot of things that have to go right to get off a good punt. But I've always thought the biggest thing is the ball drop.
Right.
The ball has got to be, I like to have it flat, and it's got to be on the right angle, like at 10 o'clock, I say. And it's just got to be over the right leg. You can't drop it too far inside, but the ball drop is very important. And when you're catching and dropping the ball and kicking it in 1.2 seconds.
Yeah.
You got to be yeah. It's tough to get it right every time.
So, and to get it right every time, the ball's got to be delivered correctly, which you're relying upon your long snapper at the time, right?
Cam Hawkins doing a great job this year.
Yeah, done a wonderful job. We haven't had any knock on for Mike or wood and everything else. We haven't had a bad snap this season, but that's a big part of it as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and everything's just got to time up well with the drop, with the leg swing, and there's a lot that goes into it, and it's difficult at the start to build that consistency. I was at Pro Kick for 2 years, just punting every single day, 100 balls a day.
All right.
Just trying to get to a level where I was good enough for college football.
What's more important, the leg strength or the technique?
I would say technique. Yeah, and just being flexible is probably more important than strength, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, kicking at elevation like we are, that's a good thing for a kicker, isn't it, or punter?
Yeah, it's good, but
yeah.
A lot of people talk about it. I don't really notice the difference.
I was going to ask, have you noticed when we've gone down to lower elevations? Have you noticed a big difference?
I've had like a few of my best games at sea level, so I honestly don't notice a big difference with it.
Circumstance, when we see you at different times, there are times it looks like you're kicking away, right? Okay, we're deep in our own. You need to flip the field for the Buffaloes. Other times, you're looking for something to check up. How difficult is that to learn that kind of technique?
Well, the times where I'm trying to get it to check up and stop right before the end zone, I'll kick an end-over-end punt.
Okay.
And those are the type of punts that I grew up doing in Australian football. Those are really easy and natural for me. So I don't spend a lot of time actually practicing those. The spiral punt is the one where I spend most of my time in trying to perfect.
And that would be more of a lengthy punt, right? When you're trying to flip the field for somebody.
Length and hang time.
Right. So you're talking about the one where you're trying to check up a little bit. Are there different types, or is there some that have a backspin on them, correct?
Yeah, most of the time when I do it, it's just a backspin.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you want it to check up so the guys can get down there down the football.
Yes, sir.
What's the advantage of having an Australian accent in Boulder, Colorado?
There's a few advantages. Everyone seems to love the accent. Most people just ask where I'm from, and I get people thinking I'm from like Britain or something.
Yeah, how many times does that happen? They go, well, hey, you're from England, right?
Yeah, I get that. I get that a bit, but most of the time it's Australia, or New Zealand. But some England too.
But there's got to be an advantage. I mean, the ladies have to like it, I would think.
Yeah, but I've got a girlfriend, so
okay, yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Entertain any of that.
Is this? We got to wrap up here, but is this? I was talking with Prime about the stretch of the season, all the opportunities sitting out in front of us right now for you guys, right? This is a focused locker room, isn't it?
Very focused. Like when we got back from that bye week and we kind of had things go our way. Like that was kind of the talk of the locker room, but then we quickly set our focus to this week. That's all we can control right now, and that's the most important thing is this week, because we know college football, there can be upsets at any time, and anyone can beat anyone, so we got to be locked in.
Well, for those of you watching and listening, many didn't know his name. They thought it was just Mate, but it's actually Mark Vass, the punter for the Buffaloes. Hey, good luck this weekend down in Lubbock.
I appreciate it.
All right, Mark Vass. Coming up next, our assistant segment. And we're going to talk with the aforementioned Tommy Robinson is going to join us as we get ready for the Buffs and the Red Raiders on Saturday night in Lubbock. Back in a moment. This is Colorado Football from Learfield. Okay, Coloradans, curious CU minds want to know, what do you love about Colorado? The people, the adventure, all that glorious sunshine, although it's not shining right now. Let's get into it. You can tell us what you love about Colorado. Go to lovecolorado.com. Our program brought to us by Aflac as well. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Visit aflac.com to learn more. The aforementioned Tommy Robertson, the quality control coach here for the Buffaloes as we continue on Bus Primetime. We were just talking during the break. And Brian mentioned this, and I was unaware that you coached wide receivers when he was with Dallas.
Yes.
And we're talking about all the Hall of Famers you coach, man.
I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
I was a little young coach then, and I was my first year with the Cowboys. I was a running back coach.
Okay.
Of course, I had Emmitt Smith, and then I became the receiver coach, and we had Michael Irvin and Coach Prime.
So what do you say to a guy like Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders? What do you coach with those guys?
Well, as a coach, the one thing you have to do, you have to be able to go in that room, talk to the players,
right,
and they have to know that you know what you're talking about.
Sure you do, yeah.
So it was a challenge to me because I was so young and I was coming out of college. I just came from TCU.
Okay.
And I walked in that room, and I had to go in that room, and there was Emmitt Smith and Darryl Moose Johnson in there. Two guys that are already Pro Bowlers, and,
yep,
and Emmitt
on their way to Canton,
already a Hall of Famer. So I had to go in that room, and if I didn't know what I was talking about, I had to pretend I did. But I was fortunate, we got along well, and it worked out. But then the next year, I moved to wideout, and I got Michael Irvin, and then I got to meet with I met with Coach Prime separately because he was our starting defensive back.
Yeah.
And we met about 20, 30 minutes a day on offense, and I had to tell him what he had. And Coach Prime, he's such a detailed person, same way he is now.
Yeah.
Our quarterback was Troy Aikman, so Troy is a perfectionist, and Coach Prime is a perfectionist. So I had to be on point with what I said to him because he was like, I'm not going to screw this thing up because if I do, Troy ain't going to throw me the ball. So I had to make sure that, I was as perfectionist.
Sure.
I had to match their perfectionism as a coach. So it helped me to grow tremendously as a coach when I was thrust into that situation.
Boy, that's got to be some, that's we were talking about low-hanging fruit. That's high-hanging fruit right there. You got to walk into that room with those kind of guys.
Oh, yeah.
So that relationship started way back then.
Yes.
And here you are now as a quality control coach. How do you see your role? What's your role within this organization now?
Well, right now, when I came here, it was my title was special assistant to the head coach.
Okay.
I did a lot of because I've been coaching football for 40 years now, and a lot of running back. I was gonna come in and assist with the running back coach, Coach Flea. We had a young special team coach, and Coach Prime asked me to work with him a little bit more, and he decided that he wanted to he didn't want to coach football anymore. He had some things going on with his family and everything, so that situation happened, and I was thrust into the situation of being the special team coordinator.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing now, coordinate special teams, spending time with the running backs.
It really shows. That's one of the things about being a coach is you've got to you don't just have to know your position. You got to know the game,
right? Because
you never know when you're going to be called upon to be moved around a little bit.
Right. And like I said, I got a lot of years under my belt right now, and the things that I'm doing, I've done before.
Yeah.
I did special team at LSU, and the year before we won the national championship in 2019.
Okay.
And I was also, I've always done special team. Even when I was in Dallas, I was Joe Avizano assistant, special team. Everywhere I've gone, special team has always been near and dear to my heart. But, I've coached tight ends, I've coached running backs, I've coached receivers, linebackers, defensive backs. I've coached a lot of different positions.
Right.
So, and understanding those positions and understanding how to connect all those different positions with special teams, when I had that opportunity to do it, it wasn't an issue.
Tommy Robinson, he's a jack of all trades, doing some great work here. Good luck this weekend, Coach.
All right.
All right. Quality control coach for the Buffaloes as the Buffs will take on Texas Tech on Saturday.